Hello friends, today I'm gardening with Creekside. Jerry and I are creating a cohesive cottage garden because let's be honest, cottage gardens sometimes can feel a little chaotic and disjointed. So I am going to show you how we are creating a cottage garden that is cohesive, it all ties together. It survives, not survives, thrives in our heat and humidity here in North Carolina. And it is going to support the pollinators and be a home for our sweet little butterflies. Jerry is getting started on the first part of the project today. We are going to do a mass planting of the Surefire Cherry Cordial Begonias from Proven Winners. Y'all, this is what's going to tie in the garden all together. We are doing that mass planting, roughly about 70 to 80 of these begonias along the long skinny bed that runs along the driveway and then ties into the cottage garden. I am going to explain our design process on this. But why do you want Surefire Cherry Cordial Begonia in your garden? The Surefires from Proven Winners are an absolutely phenomenal, easy peasy, no fuss, high performing annual that will do sun to shade, anywhere from 12 to 24 inches tall and generally about the same width as that as well. There's multiple different colors within the Surefire series. This is Cherry Cordial. It is a very dark, near black foliage with those beautiful red blooms. Y'all, I love the Surefires, and this is my go-to plant when I want to have a very huge impact that is minimal effort on my part. Let's just be honest, we have to work smarter, not harder in our garden. There are places for divas and there are places for those workhorses that absolutely perform magnificently well. What we are doing, so on Mondays when we film, Jerry and I love to work together. So I'm letting him do some physical work today for me. So he is using the Jenny's Edition. This is the 5-inch heavy duty auger. This is a well-prepared bed. So the auger makes very quick work of this. And he is doing the holes about 10 to 12 inches apart from one another. And we're going to do a double staggered row because this is about 30-ish feet long and about probably about 4 feet wide, but we want to leave plenty of room on each side so that the begonias don't fall over into the grass. So when we cut the grass, they're not in the way and that they don't fall too far over on the wall. So he has got the holes drilled in here. We're going to come back and add a little bit of that Proven Winners continuous release of fertilizer and the biotone for that great strong healthy root system to get going. So without further ado, he is drilling the holes. I am going to add the fertilizer, get these babies planted, and then we are going to talk fun cottage garden design and plant choices that bring everything together, brings that same ribbon design throughout so the bed looks planned and intentional and not kind of crazy and chaotic. Okay, my friends, so Jerry and I got all of the Surefire Cherry Cordials planted. I tell you, when you've got the dream team together, it doesn't take very long. And of course, the Auger makes all the difference in the world. So here we go, my friends. Right now, obviously, you can see each individual plant. They are roughly probably about a foot apart from one another. The idea of planting them this close to one another is that they are going to make one massive hedge. But that Surefire Cherry Cordial with those dark, dark leaves, those gorgeous red flowers, the Japanese beetles don't like them, budworms don't like them, aphids don't like them. They are not heavy feeders, so putting in all of that slow release and the biotone early on makes all the difference in the world. We may water soluble fertilize these 3 times this whole year, not a big deal at all, and they will perform. Now, we did run out of the ones that we had initially pulled that had been sitting out on the shrub lot in the full sun. I want to show you this because Jerry went to the garden center. These were in the greenhouse, so UV protected. Look at the difference though in the color of the foliage. Now, these are absolutely going to turn the same color, but they're more of a green and, dare I say, like a little bit of a pink flower to them. Once they're out here in the full UV light, they will catch up and turn the same color as the original ones. And then this is what's so fun about gardening with Jerry. He was like, hey, let's do a little something different. So on the corner, we put a group of 3 of the purple fountain grasses. This is going to be a huge statement right here. Massive, is going to bring some movement to the garden. Nice, dark, moody color. We'll do those creamy plumes. Will be gorgeous. And then this grass ties in to the Cheyenne sky grasses that I have in the cottage garden. This is on drip. I like to tell everybody it's on drip. It's a double row. Right now I'm running at 15 minutes 1 time a day, and that is it. Now, design-wise, right? So the cherry cordials bring your eye all the way down to the cottage garden, but we also have a little a wink and a nudge over here in the Savannah urn in the kind of the side garden. Now, this is not Surefire Cherry Cordial. This is the Viking XL Red Begonia. So this is going to have some of those same colors, dark, dark foliage, red flowers. It gets big, y'all. So the Viking XL can get to be like 3 feet tall, 2 to 3 feet wide, so massive. I planted this the other day. I found some pathetic little, what is it, creeping Jenny in here. So this is gonna come up and then come over. So we've got the red begonia with that black foliage here, and then across on the other side of the driveway. Now, let's move on down to the cottage garden, because when you do a cottage garden, by nature, you're gonna have a lot of different kinds of plants in there, right? So you're gonna have shrubs, you're gonna have annuals, you're gonna have perennials, but you need to have something that ties it together so it doesn't feel quite chaotic. Looking back at my pictures of my first cottage gardens, it looked a little chaotic. I've learned a lot, right? And so what we're doing is repeating those same colors throughout the garden. So we have the Surefire Cherry Cordial here with the Viking XL on the other side of the driveway. As we progress through the next week or 2, I'm going to be adding more plants to the cottage garden, and I will be adding the Viking XL in here, little pops here and there. So all of that ties in. The other repeating theme in this garden is the Supertunia Mini Vista Hot Pink. So Supertunia Mini Vista Hot Pink is a nice, tight, compact, gorgeous, rich pink that is dotted throughout the lower bed as you look down all the way down the cottage garden. And then up at the top, if you can see that up there above the garden boxes, I have a huge row of it up there as well. So as we're coming through this portion of the garden, last year you may recall that this is kind of where I focused all my attention on the monarch butterflies and the swallowtail butterflies. So I provide the host plants in here. Right now, I do have, I have a rue up there, and then I have the golden Alexander. These are 3 of the plants right here. This is the host plant for your swallowtails. In the next couple of days, maybe about the next week, I will be adding parsley. So I'm going to be direct sowing some parsley. That also is for your swallowtails. And so when you're looking at being a host home for your butterflies, you really want to concentrate all of that food source very close to one another. Because last year on this golden Alexander, y'all, they were covering them just absolutely everywhere. So I'm going to put in my parsley very close by, also around my rue. Throughout this bed, I also have milkweed. Milkweed is the host plant for your monarch butterflies. And so we, again, want to bring these very close in to one another. And we're going to be adding zinnias in here because that's going to be a food source for the adults. The milkweed, the rue, the golden Alexander, the parsley, that is the food for the little caterpillars. So we want to feed the adult butterflies, and we also want to feed the caterpillars. So bringing in all of those plants that attract the pollinators, attract the butterflies, and feed both the mamas and the babies is very, very important. And then we've got, of course, coming down through here, we've got shrubs that repeat through here. We've got the Fire Chief Arborvitae. Y'all, if you're not growing this, oh my gosh, this is such a great evergreen shrub. Love this. It's taking on its summer colors. And then look, talk about pollinator attractor, huge impact in the garden. We got it going on right here, y'all. First of all, lemon meringue baptisia is in full bloom. Just so you can understand the size of this plant. Look at that. This thing is the original plant that has been here since we started the cottage garden. She is in all of her glory right now. I've got another one on the other end. It ties in the garden, but lemon meringue baptisia is that beautiful, pure yellow flower, very long-lived perennial. You're not going to want to move them because they have very deep tap roots, and so it's really hard to get enough of the tap root to move it. Also, look, we've got Nepeta that is blooming. This is the Catwalk Queen. This is the new Nepeta from Proven Winners. And right on cue, we've got a little bumblebee that's coming in. Then we've got the penstemon here, also from Proven Winners, the rose rhinestone and the pink pearls. I mean, this is a great way to feed those pollinators of all shapes and sizes. They love this. Once all of this is kind of done, you can come in and deadhead it and it kind of shear it back and it will rebloom again. So layering in all the colors, the heights, the textures, and these plants are all repeated throughout the entire garden. Now, besides lemon meringue baptisia, the star of the garden right now is Princess Anne Rose. This is from David Alston. It is a standard. You can get it in a traditional shrub form. Princess Anne, I had to get Princess Anne because my mama's name is Anne. And so we just say that this is Mimi's rose, right? So Princess Anne, I wish there were smell-o-vision because this smells classic old rose. And look at all of the different stages. I mean, bright pink. The older the blooms get, they will turn and do a lighter pink on them. Of course, as your flowers will fade, it does help to come in and deadhead. So this is, I think, my very first ones to deadhead, but great. You can do them as cut flowers, but this standard brings structure to this portion of the flower bed. Obviously, it is like screaming for attention with all of these big, beautiful blooms. And one of the big differences with my roses this year that I have found is I have made myself go on a regular feeding schedule. So once a month, I feed it with a slow release rose fertilizer, rose tone. So for me, it's the first of the month. But Princess Anne is stunning. We're going to do a rose tour because all the roses are in bloom and I want to show them off to you. But when you're planting your cottage garden, as hard as it is, you've got to restrain yourself just a little bit and try to repeat plants throughout there. So again, so here is the penstemon once again, right? So we've got the penstemon right here with the nepeta in 2 different places on each side of the penstemon. Y'all, there's bumblebees in here with their little hiney sticking out. They are loving it. Also, to give structure to the bed, we have got the hollies. These hollies are from Southern Living. I absolutely love them. And it's crazy. You may not think of a holly being a pollinator plant, but it is. Hopefully, if Jerry can get in here, they're not blooming yet, but there are little tiny, let's see if we can come down here. The little tiny buds, and these are going to open up to the sweetest little flowers that the pollinators go nuts over, and it has a nice sweet fragrance to it. Love this holly because all of the new foliage has got the little red tips to it. Such a beautiful, beautiful plant. So we have 2 of the red sky hollies on each side. If you're interested in a red sky holly, of course, we love this because it's going to give that evergreen structure. Hardy in zones 6 to 9. It will get up to 8 feet tall by 3 feet tall. But as with hollies, you can keep them whatever size you would like. I did do a little bit of a pruning in late winter to keep it nice and tight and compact. But love the red sky for those beautiful, nice deep red leaves on that new foliage, and then the blooms pollinators love. Repeating again all the way through. The petunias, the nepeta, the penstemons, and y'all, you can have those cute little specimen plants in there, right? So whereas we have the Princess Anne for structure in the first bed, over here we have it with the birdhouse. So we've got some sort of hard structure repeating again in here. And then down here at the bottom, y'all, look at this cutie patootie clematis, right? So this is the Stand By Me pink clematis. It's more of a bush clematis. I do have a little bit of a wire structure right here, but it is the cutest little, it just reminds me of a, like a fairy cap, right? So it's a bush clematis in here and doing just a great job right here. And then of course we have yet another one of the lemon meringues down here on the end. So those both anchor the bed. So when you're thinking about your cottage garden, absolutely have fun putting in those specimen plants, but also pick several plants, whether it's 3 or whether it's 5 or it's 7, whatever it is, and repeat it through the garden and repeat the same color. So you can have a different flower or a different plant if it's the same color to tie in the whole bed so it does not look chaotic. Now, I am going to be adding more perennials to this garden in the coming weeks. So I'm going to be adding some Rudbeckias and some Echinaceas, again, supporting that pollinator population in here. We're going to be adding in those host plants for your butterflies, whether it is the Swallowtails or the Monarchs or whatever kind of butterfly that you want to support. Find out what the host plant is, and then you can add it to your garden. And also, as a little sneak peek, you might notice some things happening up here at the garden boxes. We are going to have the most fun completely doing a different design than we did last year in the garden boxes. So I've got some structures in that are going to go in there and be a lot of fun. So in the coming days, just know we're going to be going up there and just doing something completely different than we did last year. And it's all going to tie in to the cottage garden quite nicely. So have fun out there in your cottage garden. Remember, it's about bringing you joy and bringing you interest, supporting those pollinators, and having fun in your garden. As always, we hope you have found this fun, informative, and inspirational. Y'all have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.